welcome back to my channel. This morning I wanted to catch up on the YouTube Pagan Challenge for 2017. I know my last video left off with week 14, so this week today, not this week, today I will be doing questions from week 15 to week 18, which is this week. So I will leave, I'll have the questions numbered below in the description box. So if you see me looking over to, well, your left, my right, I have them on my screen so I can I know what they are, so I'm not going off the top of my head. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Today I'm here at work again. I worked all day yesterday, and I work a double again today, and I work a half day tomorrow. We changed our schedule up here at work because our manager is graduating from college, which I'm very proud of her. She's worked really hard to get her degree, and so she changed the hours up so we would both be able to attend her graduation and her party. So, but with that aside, let's get right into the questions. And I just wanted to kind of throw that in there. Right into the questions. The question number 15 is, do I have a code of ethics? And this is a iffy question because I do have a code of ethics for some things, and for some things I don't. I do have a code of ethics when it comes to reading the cards. Like, there are some things that I will not tell people, just because I don't think it is my place to tell them. I think that, like, I won't tell them if they have cancer. I'll tell them they need to seek a medical professional. They need to go to the doctor. I'm not going to tell them that a loved one is going to die. Like, if it's, and that's another iffy one too, death and the cards is something that people either don't do or they do, and they do it in a way where it kind of warns the person. But usually when it comes across in the cards for me, or at least so far, it's usually more of someone passing of an illness or someone passing of old age. I've never seen a traumatic accident that could cause someone's death. I'm not going to say that's never going to happen, because it happens all the time. But I've never called it in a reading. But if it's someone passing from an illness, I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell the person that, someone close to you is going to die soon. That's not my place to tell them. That's for them to experience. Also, I don't want them coming back on me thinking I did something to them to make my readings more accurate, because that has happened to some people that I know, and the people that were telling them that they were just angry in the guilt phase, in the phases of grief. They were angry. But if I see a death in a tragic accident, like a car accident, or something crazy like murder or things like that, like if I see something like that come with the cards and they're telling me that, we were going out, or I just met this new person, I would say be very, very cautious. You might not want to go out that night. I'll give them ideas just to change the future that I see in the cards. But every time I read the cards, I tell the people that the card readings are not set in stone. The future changes. If that's what I'm reading for, the future does change with every decision we make. So you can change this. Now, when it comes to healing and doing Reiki sessions, I do have a code of ethics. I don't diagnose. That's one thing I'm not medically trained to do, so I don't diagnose. I do tell people that come to my Reiki sessions that if you do have we sit down beforehand and we have a consultation, and we talk about, like, what do you want out of the Reiki session? Like, what's your main concern? From there, I will know where to focus my energy more. But I tell them that if they have an illness that's been long-standing, that needs medical, attention, and the use of Western medicine, is like, do not just use these Reiki treatments as a way of healing your illness. You need to seek um, need to do this with a doctor as well. I can assist with the healing process and with the medication and stuff like that, but you do need to see a doctor. So those are my two big codes of ethics. I don't. When it comes to spell work, I don't have really a code of ethics. Um, I don't really believe in karma in the sense of what you send out comes back to you. Um, as in spell work, but like, and it's kind of iffy. It's another iffy topic. But I think that to I one thing I don't believe in the law of return or the law of three, the rule of three or whatever. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the Wiccan read. Um, so if for me, if I'm going to do or need to do a spell on someone, like a malediction or a curse or a hex, and I feel justified in the right, and I've done the cards and done the reading that you know I've done with my beforehand prep, saying that I'm good to go. There won't be really any backlash from me. I will still protect myself, but I'm not gonna let something stop me from doing that. As ethics wise, I'll do it. Will I do it for other? Will I do magic like that for other people? That's on a case by case basis, I guess you could say. And it does depend on the person and what I feel from the person. If I don't feel comfortable or connected to the person, then I probably won't. I usually don't cast spells for people. Um, it's just not something that I do right now in my practice. I'm not saying that I'll never do it. I'm just saying it's not something I do right now in my practice. If people ask for like a charm or something like, or an amulet or something like that, then I'm more than happy to do it. But I think what I was getting at, I don't want to. I'm not at the level where I would feel confident casting a malediction or a curse for someone else. I think doing a blessing or a prosperity spell or a healing spell or making a charm or an amulet to protect themselves or to get a job or whatever. I've done those before, and I'm very comfortable. Sorry, with those and doing that for other people. But as for really code of ethics and spell work, I think that's about it. So, and then on to number 16, what other religions influence you or appeal to you? Um, there's a couple. It's not really, I think there's one or two religions, and everything else is kind of spiritual practices. But Shinto, which I don't know in and of itself is a religion, I know it's a spiritual practice. The Japanese spiritualist, um, that really, that is really something that I like to research and I like to know. I've liked to know about, and that's just been in the past couple years. Um, and then from there, I think I'm starting to study Buddhism, and there was something else. I think those are the two religions. Um, as far as like spiritual paths go, that kind of interest me. Shamanism, of course. I've been studying shamanism since I've kind of started. But also, Druidry is something really interesting. Actually, wizardry as well, sorcery. That's something really interesting to me, and something that I've been studying up on. I feel like I have a clogged nose, and oh, I do. Never mind. Sorry. Um, so wizardry and sorcery, druidry, they all have the breeze on the end of it. Um, what else? Something else that influences my path. Hoodoo. I'm actually taking a conjure challenge this year, doing a week of every week we have a different topic to study, I think hoodoo is a big part of it, and it's actually very eye-opening. So I think that's a big part of influencing my path at this very moment. So I think those would be the spiritual paths and the religions that influence me the most. Um, of course, there's also traditional witchcraft and Wicca. Um, since they influence kind of all of um, magic and paganism mostly. At least the stuff that I study. I don't want to say it's a broad umbrella because it's not. But we'll go to number 17. Is would you introduce spirituality to children, and would you pass this book on to your children? I don't know what book they're talking about. I guess is there a book that you would pass on that's spiritually minded? I guess. Um, and as of right now, I don't foresee me having kids. But that may change in the future. Me and my partner may plan to adopt, but if you don't really know, and you're new to my channel, I am a gay male, and I don't. I do have a partner. He's more of a husband now. We've been together for 6 years. Um, at this very moment, I don't foresee us getting a kid, but that could change in the future. I do have a nephew coming in a couple weeks. Actually, he should be here in a couple weeks. His sister-in-law is pregnant, and she's due next Tuesday. Could come over the weekend. We don't know. And it could come later. We don't know. So we will see from that. But I do have a nephew. From my nephew's standpoint, I'm not going to push anything on him. If he's interested, I'll tell him about it. But until he is of age, I'm not really going to, because I mean, if my brother and my sister-in-law would like me to teach him a little bit or allow me to, then I would. But I do believe that they are I don't, even though they don't go to church every Sunday, they are Christian minded. That's what their religious practice is, Christianity. So if they want to raise them a certain way, I'm not going to intervene. That's not my place to. But if they would, I guess if the kid is interested in what I do, if I see him enough and I'm around enough for him to see what I do, and he's interested, and it's okay with mom and dad, my brother and sister-in-law, to share a little bit of what I know and what I do with him, then I'll do the best I can. There's not really a particular book that I would give to him, or let him read. There are tons of different books that I have that he can. It just depends on the situation. But if I do have kids, will I pass them on spiritual? Will I pass what I know on to them from a spiritual basis? I think I would, because I'd be practicing around them all the time, and I would incorporate them into what I'm doing and to the group events that I go to and things like that. So yeah, I think I would, but I think it's too early for me to tell if I would or wouldn't, because I really don't know it right now if I would have kids, so I have no idea. And lastly, number 18. This video is not that long. I thought it would be a lot longer, but number 18 is funeral rites, and how would you prefer your remains to be treated? Well, I haven't really thought about it, even though my partner does work in the death care industry. Well, I have thought about how I want to be treated, but I haven't really thought about funeral rites and what kind of rites I want to do or have performed. There's there's many different ones from many different cultures that can be performed when one passes. I don't know what I would like to do yet. I know that I want to be cremated. I've thought about doing the ashes into a tree. So I kind of live on. I know everyone says that's how you create haunted forests, but I really think that's a really cool idea to be made into a tree. There was another one that was kind of cool but it's only using a part of your ashes and to make like a crystal marble or a crystal ball with your ashes kind of artistically displayed inside. I thought that was kind of cool too. Um, but I really do like the idea of they have this new thing now, which I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if it's in the works, but I've seen it on Facebook a couple times. The new way of burying people, and they basically freeze your body and shake it out and vibrate it until it turns to a powder, um, and siphon out all the bones and stuff that didn't break up and put it into a, I guess, like a fertilizer seed with a cross on it, and you bury that a couple inches in the earth. I think maybe a foot down, maybe a little bit less than that, and it becomes a tree. I think that's kind of cool. There are also the ones that are like now the Eterna trees. They're bonsai trees, and you plant them and you add a little bit of the ashes. You still have a big urn full of ashes, but you add a little bit of the ashes to the tree, um, and it's kind of a memoriam of the person who passed. I think those are fantastic ideas, and I like the idea of that, of becoming one with nature again and not being just stuck in a box in the ground, even though you do become one with nature after a while. But you know, well, actually, not really, because you're in the steel vaults, so it all depends. So that's what I would like to do. I would like to be cremated and kind of either made into a tree. I think that'd be awesome. So that's it for today, for this morning, and the questions for the YouTube Pagan Challenge. If you guys have any questions or want to comment below and we'll have a conversation, just like I said, comment below. I'll type out the questions in the description box of what I answered, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll hopefully be back soon with a book witch or some kind of video. I may do an update, but hope you guys have a good one. Many blessings.